pretty impressed by the films that were nominated this year. I don't feel like just because there are films made by African Americans that somehow there should be some affirmative action slot for us. I don't feel that way. Maybe, you know, maybe there's a film that I didn't see that should have been nominated, like very well could have been that situation. I simply feel that this wasn't that year. However, there were some people who were nominated, just not a slew of them. Like, I gotta think of the animated film that was nominated, but Whoopi Goldberg, she was in the film and was a voice, and like no one sort of, The Illusionist, thank you. But no, you know, people have this thing where if it's like not Denzel, Halle, Cuba in the front top 10 spots, that somehow it doesn't exist. And I think the New York Times article did a disservice, but I think we as African Americans also aren't recognizing, hey, was there anybody in cinematography? Was there anybody in musical composition? Was there, you know, and if those people didn't exist or don't exist in this year, cool. And that should just spur us to make greater films next time around, if that's your goal. But chances are that might not be your goal. The NAACP Image Awards might be your goal, or something else might be your goal. But every year it doesn't necessarily, to me, feel like we have got to whatever. You know, if you're trying to get on the For Color Girls situation, I just feel like that should not be nominated, but that's just me.
I agree. I'm gonna have to agree with that. I just think there's, you know, some years we just weren't paying attention to the right things. That's all. I mean, there just wasn't an influx of, and it's not like every year there's just all these, you know, films of color that are gonna be, you know, should be nominated for Academy Awards. You know, you have to understand, it's like, even with the Grammy thing with Steve Stanley, like you have to understand your audience,
Right.
okay? And those who get an opportunity to vote, don't. Those who get an opportunity to be a part of the Academy, oftentimes aren't and don't do anything. So how are you going to complain about the fact that we aren't getting an opportunity when those that can give us opportunity don't even take the time to become members or vote? So I have an issue with the fact that we feel that we have to have some of our award shows strictly honor our films. Like, I have an issue with the fact that, like, the NAACP Awards has become the Tyler Perry, you know, the award show. Like, everything he does will get nominated through there, and I'm a fan of his work. Not all of it, but I am a fan of his work. You know, I am. I think that a guy like Tyler is going to give us one of the best films for our people that we might get a chance to see. He has all the resources to get it done. He has access to all the right writers to get that done. He has access to all the right executives to get that done. More so than a lot of folks who've taken much longer to do, like Will, who has made money for every single studio. You know what I mean?
And I would also challenge us, you know, in this notion of a whiteout. We overlook, you know, our Latina brothers and sisters. You know, Beautiful with Javier Bardem was amazing. And how many black people went to go see that? And it's, right. What? Talent in the building. But it's one of those things that, like, we can say whiteout all we want to, and when we are nominated, and Precious, you know, or whatever film was there, you know, our other minority friends, you know, rally around us, but we don't seem to do that for anyone else. And I think that's a problem. I think we should be going out to see some of these foreign language films that are really, you know, impressive. And there were other foreign language films that were from, you know, minority countries, African countries. Did we go see those? You know, and did the people who were supposed to vote? So I think it's definitely there, but I don't think that because For Color Girls was snubbed, that somehow, you know, we are owed our 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I have more of a problem with Halle getting an Oscar for Monsters Ball than I do with any of the snubs that we've gotten, you know, in the past 10, 20 years. Like, that's more of a problem than anything.
Well, to dig deeper into it, like, well, let's, because I would never have said that Color Girls were snub, but that's just me.
I mean, I didn't either.
But how about like some of the other movies, like The Kids Are Alright? Could Felicia Rashad have got Annette Bening's part? I mean, are we getting those parts as African American actors that are just good films, or are we just getting African American films that may be good enough?
No, I agree. I mean, if you look from a standpoint of transitioning from television into film, though, because you know, The Kids Are Alright. We looked at Pam Grier over on Showtime
and
the L Word,
Amen.
and extremely successful. You know what I mean? So I think it's more of the producers that think outside the box. Is like, yo, let's go get Pam Grier to play this role. She's been killing it for 5 years, doing the same type of character. Let's bring her in this mix. You know, but when you're making that type of a film, I think Julianne Moore reached out to Annette Bening to do that. I think that's the story behind that one. But we need those actors and those producers to think of us in those roles, you know, and think of us as like, yeah, you know what, I want to share those scenes with them. You know, when I saw Hustle and Flow at Sundance, I would have never, ever in my life thought that Terrence Howard was gonna get a nomination for that. Never. Did I like the film? Was I cheering like everybody else because the music was hype and it was? But if you would have told me that he was gonna get nominated for an Oscar for that role,
Right.
I mean, like, I need to just figure something else out because I can't get it. I just don't get it.
Or the 3 6 Mafia would get an Oscar?
Get an Oscar for
Wait,
that?
flag on the play? Like,
but,
what?
But then the performance of that was crazy too. Like there was.
Okay, as African American film critics, do you feel that there's a pressure on you to just review African American films?
Pressure from ourselves, from the
Pressure from what?
media.
I'd like to speak on that one.
Let it out.
I mean, I think, like I said, like my channel on YouTube, like my one channel has reached 400 million video views, and of course that's not all black people, right? But I cover all the movies. I cover all the movies that I can cover, and I cover the award shows, the Oscars, SAG, Grammy, American Music Awards, like not just BET, which so I get offended when studios, and it happens a lot. I can name 2 studios in particular, but I'm not going to do it. That they'll have a cast of characters, and they'll say, well, look, you can interview, you know, this black guy, but you can't interview these other cast members. Or they'll say, well, you know, we didn't invite you to do this movie because, you know, it didn't have any black cast members. And I tell them all the time, like, you know, what do y'all think we do between Our Family Wedding and Just Right and Takers? Do we not just go to the movies the rest of the year? I mean, what's going on? You know, I mean, black people, I mean, it's an audience that looks at these movies, and you need to share these movies with these audiences, you know, no matter what. I mean, because I think there is an onus on maybe sometimes for us to feel like we're pressured to vote for colored girls, which I mean I think there were some good performances in there. I didn't like the film, and I don't think that was I'm not gonna say I didn't like the film. I didn't like it among the voting.
Right.
You know, I didn't think it was
The other nominees, yeah.
a nominatable. That's a word. but I mean, I think there is pressure from the studios to say, you know, all right, black outlets cover black movies, and that's it. And I think, like, even from the publicists, I think the publicists here, the Latino publicists have been able to fight for the Latinos here in LA, where they get a wider range of coverage than black. Like, we'll just get black film, we'll get pushed black film, but Latinos will cover all the films, and they will see their demo as, okay, well, they'll watch white films and black films, but for some reason the studios, not for some reason, there is a reason, the studios want us to just cover our movies, and they'll go hard. They'll roll out the red carpet for lottery ticket. I mean, they'll fly you out, buy you some lottery tickets, and then if it's another movie, it's just like, you know, well, we couldn't do nothing for you. We could get you a phoner or something like that. So there is a pressure. I mean, we do get offended, and we've actually, you know, had to fight with the studios, you know, all the time. I mean, including last week, you know, for projects that we get ignored for.